Hello and welcome in to my ALGS NA Year 4 Split 1 Week 2 Power Rankings. It's a crazy long title. I I don't know how to shorten it really, but I'll try for you guys in the future. We had a really great Week 1, not only in NA. Unfortunately, we're only doing the NA Power Rankings. Let me know if you guys want me to touch on any of the other regions, and I can definitely do some more research. I watch the weeks, but obviously I have to look more in depth into it. But I can do that for you guys. And without further ado, let's get into it. The bottom tier is going to be called our bottom feeders, and all the teams down here will get beat up on, and it'll be more of a learning experience for future years than a chance to actually make LAN. And that doesn't mean all these teams are terrible, but NA is extremely competitive. Not every team can make it, and unfortunately, I don't think any of these teams have. Our number 30 team is Secret Formula. They're dropping down 4 spots from last week, and this all comes down to obviously two things. One, um, they got second to last in the first week. They put up 10 total points. It's just not a strong showing, obviously. They had 5 total kills. Sorry, 6 total kills. And then that brings me to the next topic, which is they've already dropped a player. They dropped Ozempai, picked up Silent HNL. Ozempai had one of their 6 total kills, Vize getting the other 5. So unfortunately, Euban did not pick up a kill this week. Hopefully they can turn it around. It's just, I don't know, already chemistry issues. Can't fight, can't rotate. It's not looking good for the squad. Dropping 2 spots to number 29, we have Temper. This was the last place finishing team from week 1 out of the teams that played, obviously, and they put up 6 total points. It's obviously a terrible, terrible showing for them. They're going to need a lot of work to improve. Rising up 2 spots to number 28, we have GKS. They placed 14th in week 1, playing with Sleepy Panda instead of Naughty, as the rules required them to. I'm honestly pretty surprised that Sleepy Panda played with them. I think he's just, trying to put on a showcase to prove that he can play with the best of the best. And I thought they looked pretty solid, but obviously the team's going to change heading into week 2, so we'll see what happens then. At number 27, we have EEC rising up 2 spots. They placed 17th week 1, and obviously the main issue, they just need to move away from contesting, find any open spot they can land to give them a shot, because they're dropping on teams when you're one of the bottom feeding teams is honestly just a troll, and you're not really giving your team a chance to compete. Moving into the last of our bottom feeding tier, at number 26 is Oblivion. They're up 2 spots from last week after a 10th place finish in week 1. And it really looked like they were off to a hot start, and they were after game 1. Obviously, they won that, but unfortunately, they did fall off a little bit after. I love the passion and the confidence in the team, and obviously they can get it done because they won game 1, but they're gonna need a lot of luck to jump up these rankings too much. Okay, on to the next tier. Now we're out of the bottom feeding tier, so we can start talking about teams that are exciting but overall unserious, and that's what I'm going to call the tier. It's the exciting but unserious tier. And all these teams can definitely make a splash and have some exciting plays, win games, but overall, I don't think any of these teams have a chance of making LAN. They're placing 25th last week's ranking as well. They got a 15th place finish in week 1. It's really hard to talk about this team without. Obviously they have team comp issues, chemistry issues. I think the main problem is they just never seem comfortable. The only team fights I see them ever win, I feel like, is when they're ratting, and that's great. I love the rat play. It's obviously super exciting when you're the team or a fan of the team that's doing the play, obviously not getting ratted on. I think they need to start making plays for God spots or just fighting late. You know, too many times I see them like on the edge of getting in zone and they're kind of poking at it and they can't make a decision one way or the other. So they just got to make a call, stick to that call, and then go from there. Our number 24 team is Evolution. They're staying put from their last week ranking as they did not play week one. There's not much to talk about. I'm excited to watch them play on Saturday, and we'll really get a feel of how good or bad this team is. Next is Drop In Gaming, coming in at our number 23 spot, down from 22 last week. They placed 13th out of 20, obviously, so not a bad finish. I just thought there were more deserving teams to place above them. So that's really all I had to say about them. Looking for them to obviously improve on their zone calling skills from week one. Wasn't the best, but I have confidence in this team to improve. Dropping down 4 spots to 22 is PLP. And what did I say? Bad vibes kills teams, and this team, while having all the talent in the world, just does not show any chemistry improvements. Even though that was allegedly the whole reason that Zainu got brought in instead of Snipe Down, and obviously there's that whole drama. It's just a cloud over their heads, and I just don't know if this team has the maturity to move past it. Rising up 2 spots from 23 last week is Ape Gang, with a surprising 7th place finish in week 1. And 5th through 10th places were separated by a total of 3 points. So this really could have been a 5th place finish. This could have been a 10th place finish. It was right there. You know, obviously they got put right in the middle of that. I just need to see more stability and consistency. For this team to climb higher in the rankings. For 20, it hurts a little bit to put this team here, but we have Complexity down 5 spots from last week, and can I even call this a team right now? Like, Reptar left the team right before week 1. He didn't want to go pro. He wanted to keep on the rank grind. I'm not really sure what it was. They did pick up Lou, like I called last week, so we got that. And then he's gonna join obviously Monsoon and Kimchi. So Kim is going to be playing as a member of the team instead of their coach, and playing with this team, they did get a solid 12th place finish. So maybe they could rebound, climb right back up my rankings. I just need to see if this team obviously can get on the same page quickly enough to have a major impact in this year's standings. At number 19, we have DNO up 2 spots, not because of their performance necessarily, just other teams such as obviously Complexity, PLP, just fell farther than them, obviously, so it bumped them up a little bit. They placed 18th in week 1. Not a great showing. Sadly, I think this team is they're just a group of fan favorite players past their prime. Moving on to the next tier, we have the outside looking in tier. This group of teams can definitely make some noise and maybe sneak into land, but that would be very surprising without drastic changes either to the teams in this tier or the teams above them. The first of this tier are the Oversleepers, coming in at number 18. Similar to DNO, they are up 2 in the ranks, not because of their performance, as they did not play in week 1. Just some other teams I felt like deserved to be below them, so they just got bumped up by default. Looking forward to their first game day, as they have been performing great in scrims recently. The first of this new tier are the Oversleepers, coming in at number 18. Similar to DNO, they are up 2 not thanks to their own performance, as they did not play in week 1, but due to some other teams that I felt like deserved to be below them in the rankings, so they got bumped up by default. I'm looking forward to their first game day, as they have been performing great in scrims recently. At 17, we have 9 Lies, staying put, as they did not play in week 1 either. I'm excited to watch them compete in Pro League, as long as Dynasty does not get poached by a signed org team, which I could see as a possibility. Down 3 spots from last week despite not playing, we have the Sentinels at 16. I think other teams just jumped them and deserve to be higher in the power rankings, but look for this team to regain their ranking with a good showing. Flat comes in at 15 in our rankings. It's another team dropping 3 spots this week after placing 11th week 1. It's not a bad showing for a first-time PSQ team. I'm just hoping to see more smart fights get taken and not just full send whatever they see. Moving into the LAN contenders tier, any of these teams could finish top 12 and make LAN, and it would not be surprising in the least. The vast majority of LAN teams should come from these top 14. First of the LAN contenders, up 5, is FaZe coming in at number 14. The chemistry is feeling great. They're dominating their contest at Wall, and with a strong 6th place finish in week 1, I felt very comfortable moving this team not only up to 14, but up a tier into our LAN contenders. Skirt comes in up 3 at number 13. Even though they were basically griefed in the contest on World's Edge by LG, they still finished in 8th place. The chemistry sounds great. If I had to describe it, it's like a group of friends playing a pubs game together, honestly. Coming in at number 12 is Furia, rising up 2 spots from 14 last week. They did not play in game day 1, but I am expecting big things from this squad. They just have to make sure to stay disciplined and not feed face. I'm looking at you, His Watson and Keon. At number 11, we have Moist, down 1 spot. Even though they did not play week 1, just felt like another team deserved it more than they did. Another one of those teams where there's just not a lot to say about them that I didn't already say last week, as they didn't play week 1, obviously. And I do think they would be a couple spots higher in our rankings if they were not contesting Legacy on Stormpoint. Down 1 spot to number 10. Like Moist, they dropped a spot even though they didn't play week 1. There's an obvious team that I bumped up ahead of them both. I'm sure you guys can figure it out before I get there. They do need to stop scapegoating Awans, or he may lose confidence in himself. I mean, he's a young controller player, and tech really rips into him, and a lot of the time it's just not his fault at all, and I don't understand where the hatred's coming from. So yeah, he has to make sure not to keep doing that. Moving into my LAN locks tier, I would be incredibly surprised if any of these teams did not finish top 12 in NA and make LAN this season. The first of our LAN locks tier is going to be Luminosity Gaming, rising up 2 spots from number 11 last week. They need to figure out their landing on World's Edge, I think is their main problem. Contesting Skirt is just not working for them for some reason. And I really probably would put them a couple spots lower, but it's Sweet Dreams. He's going to make LAN. I don't know what else to say. Down 2 spots after a 9th place finish in week 1 is Oxygen Gaming, coming in at number 8. They're just lacking the pop-off games and fights that we're used to seeing from this squad, and something with their chemistry needs to be fixed before it gets any worse. At number 7 comes in Legacy, down 2 spots despite not playing, as some squads just deserve to be higher. That's really all there is. Contesting Moist, like I said about Moist earlier, contesting Legacy on Stormpoint is just hurting them both. Even though it seems that Legacy is winning the contest, it's just not healthy for their long-term output. Up 2 spots to number 6th is Elevate Gaming, after a 3rd place finish in week 1, only behind the 2 teams that have ever won LAN. It's still insane that this was somehow a PSQ team, which I honestly forget every single time I look at them because they're just that much better than other PSQ teams. But I think that may have actually given E8 the chemistry and confidence they needed to perform as well as they are as early as they are. The final tier change, moving into Tier 1, the LAN favorites. I am extremely confident that the LAN winner will come from one of these top 5 teams. I can almost guarantee it. The first of these LAN favorite teams is going to be Disguised. at number 5, dropping down one despite not playing as the next team on our list, is just the better team right now after that week 1 performance. Enemy somehow gets slept on way too much, and I don't really see why. Definitely do not let him get a wingman in his hands if you're another team, as he may just 1v3 you guys, as is evident by Friday's scrims. Dark Zero comes in at number 4, rising 3 spots in our rankings. Just when you start to call Hal the undisputed GOAT, the greatest of all time, the best IGL, Zero comes knocking. It's like he was listening to all the discourse, which he probably was. All of these guys are chronically online. Not an insult, that's their job. They should be. But with a dominant 16-point lead over second place TSM in week 1, this is a scary team to face in any format, but especially match point, as obviously Zero is one of the only 2 IGLs ever to win a match point format. Number 3 is Optic Gaming, down 1 spot. It's a horrible start to match day number 1, but they did bounce back with consistent games to place 5th overall on the day. One thing that I do... Our number 3 team is Optic, down 1 spot after a horrible start to match day number 1, but they did bounce back with consistent games to place 5th overall on the day. One thing I am pleasantly surprised about are the vibes are still good after their unfortunate end to champs last year. Our number 2 team is TSM, jumping Optic up to number 2 comes in TSM after getting a second place week 1 finish. They ended with 2 game wins on the day out of 6, and they look just as strong as ever. I'm rooting against them a little bit. Also, Dark Zero, I just want to see another team win a LAN. I think it'd be great for the scene, great for the health of the game, but obviously I can't guarantee it. These teams are insanely strong, and they might just keep doing it. Finally, staying at number 1 is XSET. Even though they didn't play week 1, I just didn't feel right dropping them from the number 1 spot. I feel like on paper and what they've shown in scrims and then their drop and rotational paths, I just feel like they should stay at week 1, and I'm looking forward to a strong showing to prove why they deserve to be placed this highly. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the rankings in the comment section below. Comment, like, subscribe, or share would go an extremely long way in getting this video in front of other ALGS fanatics. I really do appreciate every single interaction you guys do. These videos should start to come out on the Tuesday following the week, starting in week 3 after this weekend. I appreciate you all for sticking around to the end of the video, and until next time, peace.